Good evening. Apologies for being a couple minutes late. Several of us attended the presentation from the robotics team, which the robotics team is going to be here to be honored tonight. It was an absolute phenomenal presentation for a phenomenal program. So great job. We'll hear more about you folks later. And the superintendent is here, but is just running real quick and will be back, but we're going to get started without her. So, Yas, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Blundo.
Here.
Mrs. Varghese. Dr. Blundy. Ms. Calderon.
Here.
Mr. Luisi. Mrs. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Stankus.
Here.
Ms. Steffens.
Here.
Mr. Weaver.
Here.
You please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are going to, later in the agenda, just make one switch in the order of presentation. We'll be doing our student recognition as item 6 and then moving a presentation from Dr. Struncis till right after that, so if anyone was wondering. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing copies of said notice to the record, filing copies of said notice with the municipal clerks of Hillsdale, Montvale, Rivervale, and Woodcliff Lake, and publishing said notice in the record on August 15th, 2022. Why don't we start with the student reports first. Isabella?
Good evening. My name is Isabella Velez, and I will be giving the student report for the month of May from Pascack Valley. Classroom item number 1. The PV Spring Band Concert was on May 11th and featured performances by the Symphonic Band, Chamber Jazz Ensemble, and Jazz Band. Congrats to the junior trombonist Ming Lung Ching for being accepted into the NJ All-State Jazz Band. PV Jazz Band and Chamber Jazz Ensemble are looking forward to a June tour with performances on June 8th at the Rivervale Farmers Market, June 10th at the Hillsdale Art and Music Festival, and June 13th at Brush Culture Jazz Club in Teaneck. Classroom item number 2. Mrs. Piccolini and Mrs. Lindstrom hosted a fun honey tasting class for Bring Your Child to Work Day. They had over 16 children attend the session and discussed how honey is made and evaluated over 6 samples of honey based on color, smell, and flavor. Co-curricular item number 1. As part of AAPI month, the Harvesters Club is going to learn about Sikhism and volunteer at the kitchen preparing food at the Guarda in Glenrock on May 21st. Co-curricular item number 2. The Pascack Valley Peer Leaders and PV Network joined the Hillsdale Education Foundation in their hike for Hillsdale. The students assisted with the animals from Teveland Sanctuary Farm. They helped raise over $500 for the farm. It was a wonderful day for the students and residents of Hillsdale. Number 3. PV's theater production of Chicago has been nominated for 5 Bergen PAC High School Musical Awards. Outstanding Choreography, Kelsey McGrail, Marielle Lupfer, and Francesca Silvana. Outstanding Musical Direction, Gail Fuentes. Outstanding Lighting Design, Matthew Gable. Outstanding Female Identifying Lead Actor, Kelly Donlin. Outstanding Costume, Hair, and Makeup Design, Marielle Lupfer. Kelly will perform at the awards ceremony, which will be held on May 22nd. Athletic item number 1. PV Spring teams are having a remarkable season so far. Good luck to all the teams as they wrap up their regular seasons and get ready for state tournaments. Number 2. Be sure you head out to support all of the senior night events for our spring athletes. Congratulations to all the class of 2023 spring athletes. Fun fact, Valley Cup competitions continue as we get closer to the end of the school year. Valley Cup number 4 is being held during the week of May 22nd. There are dress-up days and many events planned for the culminating Valley Cup assembly on Thursday, May 25th. Good luck to all the grades in the final week of Valley Cup. And for my joke of the day, what did one plate say to the other plate? Dinner's on me.
Very good. Olivia?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia Ge, and today I'll be presenting the Pascack Hills Student Report for the month of May. Classroom item number 1. The Pascack Valley Regional High School District is a partner with Montclair State University through an organization called the Montclair State University Network for Educational Renewal. As part of this partnership, Dr. Barry Backenheimer, Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment, applied for a grant to establish a podcasting program for teachers and students. As part of the program, teachers received podcasting recording equipment for their classrooms, as well as a full day of training from the ADP Center for Learning Technology at the university. For co-curricular item number 1, special congratulations to Reina Alico, Camilla Ambrosio, Colin Berry, Elijah Chen, and Hayden Hopper on their acceptance into the 2023 New Jersey All-State Mixed Chorus. Also, Ava Friedman on her acceptance into the 2024 New Jersey All-State Treble Chorus. The students dedicated many hours to practice in preparation for the audition, as each auditioning student was required to perform a solo, a quintet, and scales. The set of the intense rehearsals will start in October 2023 with the New Jersey All-State Mixed Chorus performances in Atlantic City and NJPAC. The New Jersey All-State Treble Chorus will start the rehearsals in February 2024 with the performances in Atlantic City and NJPAC as well. Our chamber choir students will proudly represent Pascack Hills and perform in the ensembles made up of the best singers in the state. For co-curricular item number 2, the Pascack Hills Chamber Choir and Concert Band went to the City of Brotherly Love for the World Strides Philadelphia Heritage Festival from April 28th to April 30th. Students had the opportunity to showcase their musical talents while also experiencing the rich culture, art, and history in Philadelphia. Throughout the weekend, members of both ensembles performed for a panel of 3 nationally acclaimed adjudicators, as well as participated in on-stage clinics. In addition to musical performances, students were able to experience all the heritage in Philadelphia. They visited the Reading Terminal Market, the National Constitution Center, the Franklin Institute, and Independence Hall. The chamber choir even had the opportunity to sing in one of the world's largest unsupported masonry domes at the Penn Museum. The concert band was awarded a silver score and second place for their category, while the chamber choir was awarded a gold score and first place for their category, along with an invitation to perform at Carnegie Hall in 2024. For athletic item number 1, congratulations to Izzy Benedict on scoring her 100th career point in lacrosse. What an amazing accomplishment. For athletic item number 2, congratulations to Reese Benziato and Christopher Bonanno on winning the Unico Brian Piccolo Award. The award is given annually throughout the country to high school student athletes of Italian-American heritage who exhibit the qualities modeled by Brian Piccolo in his life and career, which include courage, friendship, loyalty, teamwork, and dedication. For my joke of the day, why did the golfer bring an extra pair of pants? In case he got a hole-in-one. Thank you.
Thank you. As advertised, our superintendent is here, so we will now turn it over to her and see if you have a report for us.
Thank you. Yes, actually, I'd like to make some comments. So in the audience tonight, we have our robotics team, and prior to the meeting, the robotics team very generously invited us to their sponsor dinner. And at their sponsor dinner, this is the first, sponsor dinner that I've attended, obviously, here at Pascack Valley. I just want to give a little bit of some recognition and some commendation to the students. So we attended the sponsor dinner, and the sponsor dinner was so cleverly set up, so creatively, I should say, set up in that you showed us some videos of one of the matches. It was a nail biter of a match where you unseated the first ranked team to go on to the national championship, and you unseated them by 1 point. It was such a fantastic display of the way that you work together as a team, as well as just an exciting match to have displayed to us. And then you had your student leaders speak. And one of the things that really struck me as I sat listening to the student leaders, and I think you probably spoke for maybe about 30 minutes. I think I was just completely engaged in what you were saying the entire time. Each one of you that got up so just professionally was informative, was entertaining, was engaging. Your speeches were excellent. They were such a great exemplar of the great student leaders that we have here at Pascack Valley and the great leadership that is among our robotics team. I was so impressed. The rest of the sponsors that we were sitting with, the board members that we were sitting with, were also so impressed by the way that you carried yourselves. You sounded professionally produced. It was really, really cool to see. The other thing that really struck me is there were several of your sponsors were also at the dinner. And 3 of the sponsors that contributed all offered to kind of do something extra after the fact. So obviously the season's over. The sponsorships have already taken place, and these 3 individuals offered to do something extra. And what really struck me in that moment, listening to the different sponsors talk about the things that they were doing to give back to your team, they weren't giving back. So I'll give examples, actually. Let me back that up. One of them offered to have you come and tour their facility so you can see the engineering devices that they have. Another offered to come and give a leadership talk on kind of looking at leadership with an open mind and making sure that you don't get stuck in the same perspective. And another offered actually to work with us to have some of you or the students next year serve as actual interns in his company, as well as looking at hooking you up with some entrepreneurship clubs, not clubs, but groups that he's with here in New Jersey. So these 3 sponsors didn't offer that because they felt that they wanted to, go on the record or do something. They did that because they were so inspired by all of you throughout this entire season. They were so moved by how smart you were. One of them said they couldn't believe they were surrounded by such smart and motivated students. So, I mean, these are people that work in industries with lots of smart people. And the fact that they are so moved by how smart all of you are that they want to actually do more. They want to give more. They want to come and connect with you more. I thought was just so exceptional and so telling of the real talent that we have kind of sitting before us here. So I congratulate you for that. I love the impact that you've made on other teams, both here in the United States as well as internationally, where you're serving as mentors to newly created robotics teams. You have mentor guides. It's just beyond impressive. And I was really so impressed by what I saw and what I heard and how you all comport yourselves both throughout the season but also at the sponsor night. It's just a very cool event, and thank you so much for including us. I'm really grateful to that, and I know that Mr. Blundo is going to be recognizing all of you in a moment, and I'm very excited for that. But I just wanted to thank you, and I just wanted to point out that these people are giving back because they're so impressed by you, and I love that, and I wanted to share that with you. So thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you for a wonderful team, and thank you for being the great students that you are. We appreciate you.
So, I was going to make some comments before I read your names in a few minutes, but I'll just top what Sarah said. I have been to these presentations before, and yet today I learned more, and I came out even more inspired. First of all, it was so refreshing to see the health of the organization after basically 2 years of COVID bringing it to its knees. And that is a testament to the upperclassmen. And I heard some of you went out and recruited some of the newcomers aggressively, and we appreciate that. The leaders, the adult leaders, fantastic effort to get this organization back to at least where it was, if not even further. The other thing that, again, for the last 7 or 8 years, I saw every year, but it really resonated with me today, is that it is so much more than building a robot, okay? The marketing, the websites, the photography, the finance, the business end, and hearing all of the leaders of the various areas talk about their what they do and how they contribute to this just resonated with me tonight, how this is so much more great experience than beyond that physical machine, which, by the way, is amazingly impressive. If you haven't seen it, go on the website and see it. But the end product was phenomenal. And, you know, it might be a little corny, but it struck me, those of you that are my age remember the space program. And I know everybody does, but when you're my age, you remember it a little better. And, you know, there's a story that there was a man cleaning up one of the facilities, and one of the astronauts went to that person and said, "Oh, what do you do here?" And that person's answer was, "Well, we're putting a man on the moon." So the message there is every position, from the freshman who's just starting to support to the senior leaders, junior leaders, contributed to the success of this program. And very, very impressive. I just wanted to add my comments as well. So great job. Okay. Okay, we have a few minutes to approve. Item 5, is there a motion? Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Calderon?
These are for the minutes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to abstain from May 1st because I wasn't here. Otherwise, everything's yes to the other.
Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Steffens?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes, May 1, abstain, April 17.
I think we only did the one, didn't we?
Mr. Blundo?
I will abstain from May 1st and approve April 17th.
You don't have to abstain.
We have enough? We're good?
I believe we do. We have 6 people, we need 4 yes votes.
If not, you'll,
May 1st passed. 417, let's see. Yes.
okay, so those are behind us.
Both
You know,
passed.
I'll remind the board, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Yas, and I didn't do this for May 1st, so I'm guilty, but if you view the video, you can vote to the minutes, right? If you view it after the fact.
Correct.
Because I know we've had some problems and with having, enough folks. And really, that's a testament to everybody here, because most of the people here, not like me, this is my only job, other than work. They're involved in a million boards, so it's not possible that everybody's here all the time, so.
Just to clarify, we're not able to watch video on an executive session.
True. If it's an executive minute, that couldn't be there. Okay, so now we're up to the Pascack Pioneers, and we're going to announce all the team members. And what we're going to ask is that if you're here, and I think most of you are, that you just stand when your name is called. Okay, there's certificates available for you. And I will just read, because it is an impressive list of accomplishments. Pascack Pioneers First Robotics Team, 1667. Whereas the following students from Pascack Hills and Pascack Valley High Schools are the Pascack Pioneers First Robotics Team, 1676, the district's robotics team. First stands for inspiration and recognition of science and technology. This year's team won the following awards. The Mount Olive First Mid-Atlantic District event, they won Excellence in Engineering. They were an event finalist at Warren Hill's First Mid-Atlantic District event, Engineering Inspiration Award, and as semifinalist. At the First Mid-Atlantic District Championship, they won the Engineering Inspirational Award. They were semifinalist, and we had a Dean's List finalist, Eliza Krigsman. And based on the presentation Eliza gave us this evening, I don't know who beat you, but it was a great job. First World Championship, Engineering Inspiration Award in the Johnson Division, and a finalist in the Johnson Division. So I'm going to read the names, and I'm going to apologize in advance, because I am sure I'm going to do a job on some of them. So if you're here, please stand and acknowledge the board. Art Alabehu, Kenneth Ang, Adindam Athreya, sorry guys, Grant Bancroft, Dylan Barrett, Joshua Baskin, Leisha Bowlesley, William Bramley, Yushin Choi, Jake DiPaolo, Julia DeSalvo, Sonny Drozd, Max Dreyerman, Hugh Gorman, Julian Gugino, Benjamin Gillion, Colin Hill, William Hill, Karen Hill, Susanna Kalishman, Roderick Kennedy, Minche Kim, Eliza Krigsman, Chiara Lean, Grant Lenordic, Alex Liptak, Estrella Luna, Suhani Mahale, Benjamin Miller, Evan Miniker, Tyler Miniker, Dylan Miniker, John Murno, Trishan Nalawira, Triana Nalawira, Olivia Nixon, Sharon O'Brien, Sean O'Neill, Aditya Pokala, Nathan Prinz, Ming Lang Quinn, Thomas Rottinger, Emily Rottinger, Jessica Ruderman, Christina Samoas, Thomas Samohas, Gauri Santosh Kumar Rika, Jason Schwartz, Ryan Schwartz, Tyler Serefian, Karina Shaw, Matthew Sheehan, Ayeshta Shukla, Aryan Shukla, Gavin Sibley, Benjamin Smith, Daniel Stanchak, Ian Swain, Adrian Testino, Alexi Trust, Victor Yuramov, Nathaniel Viet, Vincent Wang, Christine Yang, Justin Yu, Raymond Yu, Jo-hee Yoon, Derek Zhang, and Kirill Zakua. We're also going to acknowledge our coaches and our mentors. And again, having seen this program for 7 or 8 years firsthand, to see the same names year after year being dedicated to this program is really, really impressive. I know new people come in and out, but some of these folks have been doing it for 15 years or more. And I know it's a labor of love, and it's obvious with the product that you help deliver. Kevin Killian, Lisa Ruggieri, Jack Theodore, James Whitfield, and then our mentors, I don't know who's here, Stephen Basica, David Banovic, Barbara Bressler, Brian Buckley, Ellen Drennan, Ryan Hall, Michael Herman, Eric Casper, Matthew Lantry, Steve Mertz, Koshal Panja, DJ Soliter, and Alex Walasuik. Let's give one more round of applause for this outstanding program. Another thought. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
Joe, I'd just like to say thank you to the parents. Having been a parent 3 times over with children going through robotics, it is quite an accomplishment, and much credit to you as well. Thank you, parents.
Any other board members?
So the video that was referenced, that was shown, is that available anywhere else for us to see?
I'm sure it's on your website, right? And what is it? Somebody yell with a big voice, yell the website. Team1676.com.
Just wondering, is there a way to have that attached in some way to the board meeting since we recognize them?
We can work on that, right? And the request is if we can find a way to attach that to the minutes, Paul will work on it with us, and so we have a record of it. You know, the other thing that struck me this evening, I walked these halls 38 years ago for the last time as a student, and the people with your talents and your interests didn't really have a lot of places to go. They did their own thing, they had their own little groups, but the camaraderie, the spirit that I felt today could have been at a halftime locker room in a football game from my day. And it's really heartwarming to see how you guys have bonded, and some of you grow together, you laugh together, you fight together, and it's phenomenal. I can't say enough of how impressed I was. And Coach Theodore, you were the leader, but with all this support, great job. Okay.
Do you want to take a picture?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you want to just come down?
There's going to be a picture, so if anyone's interested to participate, so
So maybe students, can you guys fill in the first rows and kind of squish in, and then we'll be able to get a better, I think.
all right, so yeah. Come on, they want us all. They want us in. And, you know, they do things like mentor third world teams that are trying to get in. They help them get started. They have a self-help website they translated into French. I mean, they just do all kinds of stuff. And with that said, Dr. Struncis, you're up. What's that? There's no what? Oh, yeah. Are you using a PowerPoint? Yes. So you knew better than us. All right. We got to go back down, guys and ladies. I thought you wanted to leave.
I thought of a way to link it.
Oh, okay, good.
Good evening, everyone. Apologies. Thanks, Paul. So good evening. So I'm here this evening to share with you the results that we received from the New Jersey Department of Education pertaining to our school and district scores from the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights HIB self-assessment for last year, the 2021-2022 school year. The names of the individuals that appear before us on the screen are very much at the forefront of our efforts to rid the acts of HIB from our schools, and I certainly would just like to acknowledge them and thank them for their ongoing efforts. For more than 10 years, our district has conscientiously implemented the requirements found in the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. During this decades plus of implementation, our schools continue to make progress in addressing and improving harassment, intimidation, and bullying. We continue to work to improve the school climate and culture by creating and implementing programs for students and staff and celebrating the Week of Respect. The data on the next slide suggests the ongoing success in the implementation of the HIB laws. I'm going to pause here for a moment because I want you to be able to digest this. And let me write down a couple things right here. Okay. Okay. Batteries. It was working a minute ago. Okay. With that being said, okay, let me place these scores into some perspective. Okay, as you can see, the source of this data is the New Jersey Department of Education from April 2023. So just last month, okay, the Department of Education provided us with this data. They said we've been implementing the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights for more than 10 years. You can see the last 7 or 8 years of data and scores, okay, that each one of our high schools and the district has received as a whole. Okay, the maximum score is 78. But to put that into perspective, okay, it is helpful to know that in the assessment, there are 8 core elements in the assessment with a total of 26 indicators with a range of scores from 0 to 3. Hence, the maximum score is 78. Now, the 8 elements pertain to programming, what kind of HIB program the schools implement, training for staff, instruction, curriculum, personnel, reporting, and investigating. And then in each one of those elements, there are a total of 26 indicators where a school and a district can rate themselves on a scale of 0 to 3, meaning 0, they did not implement anything. 1, they partially met the requirements. A score of 2 is that they met the requirement by the Department of Education. And 3, they exceeded the score, okay, or the expectation. So that is where you can see where we've been and where we currently are. Each public school in the state of New Jersey is required to complete this self-assessment, elementary, middle, and high schools, and every district is required by law to report these scores publicly through a Board of Education. These are the scores from last year, And the school district and the schools this year, okay, will be performing these same self-assessments in late June after the current school year for 22 and 23. So you can anticipate receiving the same report sometime around this time next year in 24. Okay. Equally important, though, besides these scores and besides the numbers, are really the programs and the activities of which led our district to earning these scores, and they are highlighted on the next slides. Okay? Again, this is just a sampling of some of the initiatives that we implemented this year. Okay? For example, with our freshmen, our primary focus is with our freshmen. Okay? Individual class meetings and orientation activities from the start of the year, including the Signs of Suicide program, SOS. We've introduced mindfulness in all of our freshman PE classes and implemented social and emotional learning lessons throughout the year. For example, improving self-esteem, resiliency, decision-making, conflict resolutions. These are just some of the SEL lessons that have been implemented throughout the course of the year. Of course, we implemented the Week of Respect, but we go well beyond that first week in October, and we expand activities throughout the course of the year. During health class, okay, students participate in Bergen County's Alternative to Domestic Violence workshops, which focus primarily on healthy and harmful friendships and relationships, getting along with peers. We've noticed coming out of COVID, our students, all students, okay, have been challenged in terms of their ability to work well with one another, to work well with their peers, and we've made that a focus, okay? But in addition to that, our extracurricular and co-curricular advisors, coaches, mentors, okay, and all of our clubs and organizations are emphasizing inclusivity and acceptance. I think, Mr. Blundo, you said it well just a few minutes ago, just to see the cohesiveness of the Pascack pioneers and all the students working together for a common good. I think you could generally and safely say that across the board in the majority of all of our clubs and activities here at both schools and certainly in our district. And then, of course, we didn't forget the parents. The most vital and important piece of this, okay, is providing parents, caregivers, families support and appropriate social interactions. So these are just some of the things we've done with our students, but it doesn't stop there because our staff is very much at the core of what we do as well regarding the HIB initiative, okay? All staff members receive annual training, and they have for years and will continue to do so, through Safe Schools on harassment, bullying, and bias. Our Signs of Suicide curriculum training for the wellness counselors, that's implemented every year in the freshman year health classes. Myself, the anti-bullying specialist, receive professional development, okay, through Strauss Esme, one of our providers, okay, in this field. We continue to use Hipster, which is our anti-bullying software. We can monitor and track all individual cases of or allegations of HIB over the years to look for any patterns, hotspots, if you will, okay. We've increased staff awareness of students, of at-risk students and marginalized students. We've made a concerted effort to connect students to their interests, their activities, providing them with opportunities and community-based supports. And our student assistance counselor and our student wellness counselors have studied and implemented conflict resolution strategies. So this is kind of a snapshot of what we've implemented this year in terms of programs and services for our students and for our staff, resulting in, of course, okay, the scores that you see in front of you there for last year and the preceding years. Thank you.
Questions, Dr. Struncis?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah, pleasure.
You said this is the self-assessment, right?
Yes.
For the 78 is the max. This is our students, our staff will do the assessment?
The question pertained to the self-assessment. I was asked to repeat the question so that everyone that's watching on TV might be able to hear that. And so the question pertains to the self-assessment and the scores. Yes, each school, okay, is responsible throughout the state of New Jersey to have a school safety assessment team. Okay, so this is done, these self-assessments are conducted by the self-assessment team. Okay, those scores are then sent to the Department of Education. Okay, so once the self-assessment is concluded at the end of each school year in each school, those scores are sent to the Department of Education with, okay, the evidence, the data, okay, to support the self-assessment. Okay, I'm not directly involved in that. That goes to the school safety committee, aka the self-assessment team. Okay, and that's how those scores come to be. Okay, and that's why we're reporting on last year's score. So, for example, this year, the school safety teams will conduct these self-assessments in late June. Okay, they will be submitted to the Department of Education in the fall and September. This spring, last month, April, we received these scores okay, from the Department of Education, and we have to report out. So again, approximately this time next year, we will be reporting back to all of you, okay, the 22-23 school year data. Jim?
So what is the composition of the self-assessment team? Who are the members of it?
Yeah, sure. So each school has a self-assessment team or school safety team. They're led by the anti-bullying specialists, which are student assistants, counselors, and the committees are comprised of students, staff members, and an administrator, okay, and a community member.
So they're all represented on that?
Correct. So stakeholders, students, staff, administration, community. Thank you.
Okay. Oof, that light. Does that have to be like that?
You know, it must just have some presets back there that.
Yeah. Okay, we're cooking here, right? Just wait for Jim to come up. I didn't miss anything, right? We did this, and then we. So when Mr. Struncis decides he wants to join us, we'll get going again. We're all set, right? So next on the agenda is comments from the public, but not only can't I see any public, I can't see the audience at the moment because of lighting. So if there is anybody from the public that would like to speak, please walk to the podium. Seeing none, we'll close to the public. We have item 9, policy consent agendas 1 and 2. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin? Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Stephens?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes, 1, abstain 2.
Mr. Blundo?
Yes. Item 10, we have 2 consent agenda items for education. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Stephens?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Blundo?
Yes. Item 11, human resources, 6 consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Stephens?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Blundo?
Yes. Number 12, finance, we have 9 consent agenda items. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just want to again, thank you for the groups that support and donate to our programs.
Absolutely. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Calderon?
Yes.
Mrs. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Stankus?
Yes.
Ms. Stephens?
Yes.
Mr. Weaver?
Yes.
Mr. Blundo?
Yes. Old business, the monthly suspension report for April. Do we have a topic, someone to discuss that, or?
Been attached.
Oh, it was attached. So anybody have any comments on that? Questions? New business, we'll just call this out publicly. The board meeting that was originally scheduled for June 19th is being rescheduled till June 20th, one day later, at 7:30 at Pascack Valley High School. Any other new business? I would encourage you all to listen to the most recent podcast of Siraj and Jasper, as our superintendent and myself participated, and it was a great experience. So that dropped earlier. See, I got the lingo dropped, right?
I think what's fun is if you do it without their names and you have your children try to identify their old teachers. That's what I had my son do. I'm like, see if you can identify these teachers.
Hysterical.
It was a great time. But Sarah made the recommendation that they probably want to move to a video cast because it's just, if you see what's going on in the room, it's hysterical.
You're missing a lot of humor, huh?
Any other new business? We'll open to the public one last time. I am still blinded, and I'm sure there's no one out there, though. So we will close to the public. And do we still have executive session items, Sarah?
Only if someone wants to discuss the HIB incident listed.
Does any member want to go into executive for an HIB issue? Okay. So with that said, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Is there a
Second.
Second?
Second.
We are adjourned.